welcome to a brand new episode of Formula Pod. And today we are talking all about the IMOLA Grand Prix, or I believe it has got the longest name in the Formula One race calendar, which is the Formula One MSC Cruises Made in Italy.com Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. I hope that name is right. And today you are joined basically by the OG crew. That means it's only the guys, it's only the Merc boys back again. So yeah, welcome me here back to the show.
Feels so good that I've come back with Arjun because initially when obviously Formula Pod was just introduced, it was Arjun, and then Arjun took me along saying, "Me, you got to do this, stop this up." Amazing. It's good to be just a one-on-one session with Arjun and me, and obviously all the listeners out there. Now coming to the race, I think the race was pretty okay. It wasn't. There was a lot of internal drama rather than just having any accidents or crash. Because thank God, no crashes. No Formula One fan wants crashes. That's fatal for the drivers and the team. Obviously, how was the race? I think there was a lot of fighting. I think there was a lot of fighting from the papayas, and I really wish Vish was here because Vish would have been the happiest person doing this podcast. But you know what?
Well, yeah, of
It's all
course,
okay.
but she's busy, so we can't kind of force
It's
her
fine. You
off.
know what? I get it. Doing a law degree is very stressful. My own best friend is doing law and he doesn't have time for me. So replacement. Anyway,
Yeah, and yeah,
uh,
officially we'll mark the first episode without her.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
normally she was
yeah.
like a regular attending person, but this is the first time she's not going to be at the episode as well. But yeah, speaking about the race, of course, I would say there was a fight. There was a fight because we were seeing those last minute laps where Lando was on guard when it came to kind of going on the attack. So again, I pretty much liked it because I was also watching it not alone. I was watching it with a set of people down at the Mercedes-Benz Brand Center down here in Dubai Design District. Like superb facility, and then like these guys have now started doing this every week, where they are going to screen the Formula One races. So next week for Monaco Grand Prix as well, I'm going down there and watching because that vibe is completely different. Like watching it with people versus you watching it yourself. They're like you know like I don't know here about you, but then for me when I'm watching it with a couple of people, yeah, you can kind of have that exchanges where when you have like common teams like it's just something really amazing. Every overtake you have the what do you call people just make noises, and especially I know that particular space had a special hatred for Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Like trust me, like but all the other say Mercedes, McLaren, they were all supporting, cheering. But yeah, coming down to the race, yes, kind of an interesting one, I would say, because each car's brought in a lot of updates, and say some of them worked really well. Say for example, McLaren, both cars are now completely up to date. They were on for the chase, whereas you've got Aston Martin. Last year, amazing they were. This year, it was just disappointing, I would say. What do you think here? Like Aston Martin's performance?
Appalling. If I had to say one word, it would be appalling. And I'm not blaming any driver. I'm blaming the team. And I keep telling these people, even like around when I'm trying to explain them or just give me an update about Formula One, they only think about the first four teams. No, you got to think about everyone. You got to analyze. Well, that's my job. That's why you guys are listeners, and I'm trying to educate you what you missed out on, what we think. And we are no expert. We do analyze every bit of the race, and I'm giving you my analogy, right? I've seen Aston Martin at its peak, okay? And every race counts, especially for Aston Martin, right? Alonso, he's what last. It's not his last year, but he has one more year to actually just have fun. But we're not talking about Alonso right here. We're talking about one person. It is the
I'm
Nepo
Stroll.
baby. Yeah, the Nepo baby, Lance Stroll. What do I think of him? Look, I think he's a great person. I have no personal hate towards him. I think hate is a very strong word. But if I see a book on Nikki or Mazepin, Logan Sarge,
Yeah,
and if I see a book of Nepo baby, I will not go for Nepo baby, because his father handed everything to him. Plus, the talent is
Yeah,
not there, right? So I'd rather go. But anyway, I have nothing to say other than the fact that I would have expected a little better from, well, Aston
Aston
Martin.
Martin.
But
But
for
I
a
would say like,
surprise,
sorry to cut you off, but then surprisingly, Lance Stroll made it to P9. He outqualified his teammate Fernando Alonso on this particular race. He got 2 points for the team.
which is fine, which is great.
It was
I
a
don't think
surprise.
that
It was
should
a
be.
surprise in the first place, but then, like, yeah, he
Look,
was
was
he
it
was on.
was it
I
Arjun? One
felt
second. Was it luck or was it a skillful race for him?
I cannot call that skillful. Yet I cannot call that like probably luck. You don't know.
Okay.
Or sometimes it's just that they must have given like exclusive updates to Lance that he went into the race pretty well. Like that's what I think. But at the same time, I want to even touch point on Sergio Perez. Q2 elimination, and then he's starting, and then he kind of made his way front, but then eventually he had the Mercedes, both the Mercedes overtake him. Then he
Hmm.
was going through gravel traps. Like, I don't know, like what, like Sergio Perez was not in his element. He wasn't defending. He was more like, oh, you know what? I screwed up for the week. You guys can go. Like, I don't know whether you had that kind of a feeling, but personally, I have that feeling. Like he was fighting. He made it up to the top 10. He was like, okay, I just need to get some point over here. But then eventually, like it was just that towards the end, when he got his set of tires changed, he performed a bit better, but then he was having a massive gap which Yuki Tsunoda pulled off, like nearly a gap which could easily complete like a full-on pit stop. Nearly he had 20 when he got into on P8. He was having, if I'm not wrong, nearly 23.5 seconds,
Right.
and then like before the lap ended itself, it was nearly 25.2 seconds. So yeah, I personally felt Sergio Perez was not at all in his element. What are your thoughts?
Who do you think was in their element?
Um, Very good question. I feel Oscar was doing pretty well. Again, he
Hmm.
was fighting, and that was like I would say, when you have like these kind of like rivalries, you have one side it's Max Verstappen, Lando Norris. On the other side, you've got Oscar Piastri and Carlos Sainz. I felt like Oscar wasn't in his element. I feel even George Russell, as a matter of fact, he was also uh, like up on his game this time. Like again, probably the updates did work on the Mercedes because even for like again P6, P7, yeah, even Toto said that it's not like the best result they would want to get. But on the bright side, of course, they have made it like with some double-digit points and the fastest lap of the race. So I would, for the time being, knowing the situation, I would kind of give up for that.
I agree with you on that, but I think obviously I'm gonna be like a Lewis baby for a second.
Go for it.
I don't think Lewis. I think Lewis is gradually giving up, and I've said this in multiple episodes, and I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it till I actually see some changes. What do I think of him? Still a great person. Still like one of the greatest drivers on the grid, but it's not giving justice to what he is able to do. So that's all I'm going to say about Mercedes because there's no point spending a lot of time with Mercedes
Of course.
because I mean, as if listeners, if you want to hear about Mercedes, if you want to hear me and Arjun rant about Mercedes, you let us know. We would absolutely would love
We
to
would
do
do
it.
like a full proper episode on that, just the rant.
Exactly, we don't mind, but the fact that we are a podcast and we do love to cover other things. So I'm just gonna talk about how Ferrari, Visa, Red Bull themselves, and McLaren, crazy
I know, right?
weaponry
Like,
under their hoods. Excuse me.
no, I feel like this basically gave me like for a second. I'm like, okay, Lando Norris, he is closing gap, and then Max is trying to manage the pace, but then Lando is closing, and Lando is faster per lap. And then, like, again, we were like lap 62. He was at probably say 1 point, like, he closed it off at 1.008 seconds. And then all of a sudden, he jumps a curb and the gap increases back up to 1.184. So for me, I was like, oh, Lando, that was a mistake. Like, very last moment, it just kind of gave off, you know?
No, I get it, but I feel like since Max has been so relaxed, when he saw McLaren, he goes like, "Oh, hello, what the hell's going on?
Like,
Where's
that
my
was
pace?"
even very evident in his team radio. It's a like GP saying, okay, you've got Lando coming at you. Like,
Mm.
he was going all in. And then, yeah, Charles Leclerc was in his own world. There wasn't much fight because Oscar Piastri was 7 seconds clear of him. So
Mm. I can imagine.
he was just doing his thing. But yeah, McLaren, like, kudos, to be very honest. Like, probably say a lap or two. I personally think a lap or two, Lando could have made it to his second victory, or probably it can even be say. Well, I'm happy with the podiums, of course, because there's a Ferrari which is there at the podium place. Because the last time a Ferrari was there at Imola for in on a podium was when it was in 2006 with Michael Schumacher.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Leclerc did a fab job. I'm not going to deny that. Like, the upgrades have worked pretty well on Leclerc, but then I
Mm-hmm.
feel something still is there which Ferrari needs to fix off. Like, again, they're good. I'm not saying they're bad. They're very good, but something feels a bit missing. Personally, I personally feel like that. Like,
Um, I think Ferrari day by day are getting better. I think by the end of maybe by the beginning of next season, we should see some drastic changes, not just not just with Ferrari, but hopefully with Mercedes. We already know Red Bull's going to be astonishingly fast. They're going to be super
mhm.
super quick. I'm talking about McLaren. McLaren's going to do really well the next few years. I feel like, but currently, I think the strongest competitor on the grid, McLaren and Stroll.
Can't deny that. Like,
I keep
you're
telling this to
seeing
people
it.
as well. Yeah,
You're basically seeing it like on your eyes. You're seeing both the McLarens doing a fantastic job, strategy
yeah,
working their best. Like, everything is coming in intact for the Papayas, to be very honest. In fact, say Lando Norris is basically joining the team right now with who is going to get the second place on the drivers' championship, because the gap between Charles Leclerc at the moment is 100, Charles Leclerc 113, Sergio Perez 107, Lando Norris 101. Probably say if he manages to win a race or even say get a P2 again, he can easily manage to get into the second spot at the drivers' championship, because they're going all for it, to be very honest. And at the same time, like, even on the constructors bit we were looking at, Red Bull is not that far away from Ferrari. Like, Red Bull is
mhm,
268 versus Ferrari is 212. McLaren is at 154. McLaren is catching up. They are doing the good old catch up game, and they're doing it all well, because
right.
probably after that it's Mercedes with just 79 points. And like, Mercedes is just like, it's just there. It's just existing there, I would say. But yeah, I need to, like, as you said, I need to specifically even point out Visa Cash App RB. Pretty stunning quality for them. Like, both the cars on Q3 for the very first time. Danny Rick actually saying that, okay, it's not. I'm not a waste of investment. I've got something in me. Please believe me. Let me do prove it. He did prove it.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the race, of course, I don't know, something does it just didn't work out his way. Again, like, he got P13. He got like pretty strong Nico Hulkenberg, and like, pretty much like both the Haas's. I said this last episode, they are improving, and I'm still going to say they're still improving. Haas's are doing a fantastic job when it comes to get like working their car out with the driver. Because again, you've got K Mag with a very strong defense, and you've got Nico, a German driver who will push to its absolute limits. So, like, even though it is Nico's last season with Haas, he is kind of paying it off pretty well for them.
No, yeah, I mean, things are so unpredictable right now. I can't even give a proper prediction just because everything. one race everything goes fine, and then between the race that's happening currently or has happened recently to the next race, something goes down. And this season has been a lot of fluctuations when it comes to drama, driver standing, grid, engine change. Not massive. You know what? I'll be very honest. This season has been very, very calm compared to the other seasons. Compare Comparing to crashes, drama. This season has a lot of drama, but in terms of physical
Off-track
crashes,
drama, a lot, to be very honest.
yeah. But also, you need to understand that I think they're really FIA is really emphasizing on the fact of safety, which is phenomenal, which is very rare. But they're also forgetting the rules that apply. Also, I just want to talk about how Max is slightly rude on radio, but I guess it comes under safety, so I guess that's fine. He
No, no,
was,
you,
I
bro,
think,
bro, you can talk about it. Talk about it. Like, definitely, that's
no, I
something.
mean, I know, but also you need to understand that in that point of time, a driver is already pissed off. Like he's trying to focus, so him getting absolutely pressurized and shouting is fine. I've also come to terms with the fact that I don't. I mean, I want to tell the listeners this. I don't hate or dislike Max because a lot of people come at me saying, "Oh, yeah, me, you hate Max." And I was like, "No, I respect him as a driver. I don't like him just because of what happened during the Abu Dhabi FIA thing that happened. But it wasn't
Exactly.
his mistake. Obviously, if someone is going to give you a chance to become the world champion, you would. So it's not his fault. In fact, I'm going to be very brutal and honest. That race, we knew if there was no safety car, Red Bull would have won the championship because Mercedes did not have a great car that season.
Well,
If you put,
I
well, look, Arjun, look, if you put Red Bull and a Mercedes together that time, who do you think would have won? I'm going to say Red Bull because the Red Bull actually caught up with the Mercedes on the last few sectors of it, few turns, and it was an even race.
Well, I wouldn't say that because again, see, I'm pretty sure that last lap in 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, when the safety car came out, Max was just put on to a set of softs, and Lewis was still staying out to protect his position.
Mm-hmm.
Which, from a strategy perspective, yeah, Red Bull played the pretty good game over there. And then after that, the full bit where okay, one more final lap of racing, when you have like safety car ends and then you have all the cars close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a person with fresher tires, with a softer compound, will easily get the advantage. Like again, I personally felt Mercedes and Hamilton could have still made it. Like he could have still got his eighth championship. Again, I was still confident about it. But at the same time, again, if that safety car wasn't there, I would say Mercedes would have won. I wouldn't say the Red Bull must would have won because Hamilton had it all under control.
That's what he thought.
That's not what like. That is my assumption. That is what I
Okay,
believe.
okay, okay, Arjun, let's
Like,
get back to the current race.
yeah, let's get back to the current race.
Because if we talk about the Abu Dhabi race, it's going to be horrendous.
Yeah, and at the same time, Alpine finally manages to score a point.
Mm-hmm.
Its very first point. ST Bestie finally managed to get 1 point for Alpine. And at the same time, you've got the Williams. Last year was doing a fantastic job. This year, the car is heavy. So James Wells actually came out in public saying that, okay, the car is heavy. We're going to lose nearly half a second because of this. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, and plus, what a rookie mistake these people did. They didn't
Yeah, I was pretty
ensure that the
disappointed.
car's wheels were like tight enough, and the poor Alex Albon man had to go through the 10-second penalty.
That was pretty sad. That was very, very sad.
Like, yeah, it's not even his fault. He didn't do anything to trigger. His team didn't manage to do a proper pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
I trust me, I felt really bad for Alex Albon, and he was just like, okay, just retire the car. It felt really bad. Like it was heartbreaking for me. And like still after 7 races, 0 points. Now we have Kick Sauber and Williams, 0 points. On some ends, I would say the season is pretty good, but on some ends, I'll say it is not. It is not fair enough to some of the teams, personally speaking. But what do you think? What do you think?
I think, people keep telling me, but yeah, it's Williams, though. You can't expect anything from them, right? No, you're wrong. All the teams that are on the grid are professional, they're very well trained, and all of them are fantastic. Okay? You need to understand that there's always a possibility of error in all the teams. But when a team that's not doing so well people have low expectations from them, which is very
Exactly.
sad because all the teams are actually very, very phenomenal.
Hmm.
It's the engine that makes them differentiate between a Red Bull and a McLaren, or a Red Bull and a Williams, or a Mercedes and a Haas. You understand? I'm not trying to compare, but there are certain boundaries. These people who are in the top
Hmm.
five teams are have the budget, have the team, have the resources, right? And there's so much of pressure anyway because those bottom five teams have to reclaim themselves. They have to really show everyone that no, we're no less than the top five. And there's always an error. It's fine, like all human beings. It's absolutely fine. So they're making a mistake. Yes, it's gonna cost them a lot of positions, time, points, money.
Yeah.
What I see out of this is rookie mistake. Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying that they did not make a mistake. They made an absolutely rookie mistake. Number two, no one got hurt. That could have been a chaotic. If that, if the other, what was the team that was ahead of Williams? I think that was Haas, or was it Red Bull Cash?
Let me check though, because if I
Because
am
I'll
not.
tell you what happened. The tire fell off,
Mhm.
and then it hit another tire that was very close, to another gunman. Well, not a gunman, but
The
um
pit stop,
the
dude.
pit stop man, yeah, who changes the tires, who has a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I nearly hit him, but hit the tire and then bounced off. Now that could have hit anyone, to be honest. So I guess FI was wrong when they said, "Oh, we'll have the both smaller, so we can take more time to change the tires." I think personally that was a really bad idea. Second of all, I think the way the wheels are designed, it looks like one. Those rolling chairs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly what it looks like. The rolling chairs. You know what I'm talking about. When you sit in that chair, there's the five
Mm.
spoke. I love the old F1 cars. They sound good. They look good. And the Marlboro branding is such a classic branding.
The Ayrton Senna car, right? Like Sebastian was like,
Yeah,
ooh, ooh, that the engine, the noise from that engine was just magical.
I loved it.
Like, yeah, because again, he did donuts. Like, the one good thing which I felt when I saw that was like, it didn't create any kind of smoke or something. You
Hmm.
know, like when he did the donuts, and then that's it. Like, and but then there was even like this chat which was there before the race began, where if Formula One could succeed in terms of figuring out sustainable fuel, they would try to bring back those noisy engines back. If
Yeah,
I really hope that kind of works, because those noisy engines are the vibe of Formula One, not these stupid hybrids. Like, yeah, like when I joined into watching Formula One, yeah, already we have reached the hybrid era, but then it's just that I would really want to listen to those older F1 cars that just go like vroom kind of thing. I just want that.
fair enough. Yeah, but again, environment. No, no, not that. I care about environment. Okay, just trying to let you
Sustainable
guys
fuels.
know.
Sustainable fuels is the thing.
But it always comes to the point where when people say old is gold, that's exactly what it is. Old is
Definitely old as gold. Like, yeah, you want
gold.
old as gold? Fernando Alonso, he's still gold.
Yeah,
He may be old, but then again, it's just probably because of some stupid upgrades. And I feel like every time Aston Martin does an upgrade, the car doesn't work to the driver's advantage.
yeah, true.
But yeah, like it's also going off track. There is rumors now Valtteri Bottas may be ending up having a seat either at Williams or Alpine. What's pretty interesting to me because Williams was his ex team before joining Mercedes when it was still under the Williams family, when still Frank Williams was still alive. He was at the team and he did manage to get some points for the team as well. Um, and probably say, I don't know, Williams may be a better car than Kick Sauber. I don't know how can I justify to that, but then I think that's a thing. That's kind of a thing. But yeah, this race kind of gave me some kind of what do you call revelations. because you see Zhou Guanyu finishing ahead of Valtteri Bottas. You see Logan Sargent finishing again ahead of Alexander Albon. Like, and even Lance Stroll ahead of Fernando Alonso. The biggest stuff. So something feels a bit different with this race, but then I'm liking this for some reason. This particular race, like, yeah, you had that action. You had that. It's not like the P1 was still on threat. Like, I kind of felt like 2021 British Grand Prix when like Lewis was just on three ties and then the gap between him and Verstappen were reducing. Like, I just kind of had that same feeling till the last lap action was there.
Yep.
Like, I just loved it. But yeah, as we move on, we are going down to the shortest circuit of Formula One, the crown jewel of Formula One, which is the Monaco Grand Prix. And speaking about Monaco Grand Prix, it is a pretty interesting track, to be very honest, because this is happening in the streets of Monaco. And and let's say if it's about the track, 3.337 kilometers, 78 laps, first Grand Prix at 1950. That's like quite a long time. And the lap record is 1:12.909, set by Lewis Hamilton in his W12 in 2021. I mean, last time he was the fastest man, and the Mercedes got that, what do you call that, legendary update, and that too at a very funny place, of course, because Monaco, you cannot pull that much speed in the first place.
Yeah. It's a mix of speed, turning, and a lot of just anticipation. I think there's not much room to play around with except in the turn. So I think
Exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, like, even say if you're looking at from the specification of what do you call the maximum speed, normally other tracks you're like above 300 kph, whereas over here the maximum speed could be brought up is only 290 kilometers per hour, with say 50 gear changes per lap. Pit lane time loss is nearly 25 seconds. It has also got one of the longest pit lanes. Like, Imola has got the longest. I believe Imola has got the longest, and then it's Monaco, which is there,
Monaco, yeah.
and probably say 60% of safety car probability. Last time, I don't remember whether there was like a safety car probability in, but last time Monaco Grand Prix, we did see an Alpine on P3, a French team back onto the podium places at Monaco. Probably, I don't know. This time it may be Lando Norris. Probably it can be Oscar Piastri or Charles Leclerc. The Monegasque, it's his home race. Pressure's on for him, and then we got to see how it turns out. But yeah, Mahir, any final words before we kind of wrap up the episode?
What do I think about this race? I think this race was a 7 out of 10. Well, it was a 5 out of 10, but I think Lando Norris at the last few laps made me excited a bit. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Driver of the day, obviously for me, it was Lando Norris. Second driver of the day, I would like to say, I think Carlos. I think Carlos is doing pretty well.
Okay.
Issues here and there, but and I think the worst driver of the day, Checo
He
Perez.
is.
The reason why is because he has a really fast car. He's not really understanding what he has in his hands.
Yeah, even though at free practice we did see that car going into doing an absolute shit show,
Yeah.
it managed
So
to win.
I think we should do this, Arjun. I think we should start. You know what, guys? From this episode onwards, we'll do the driver of the day that we think the second best driver and the worst driver of the on the grid.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that should be
according to
interesting.
me, my driver of the day, of course, Lando Norris, 10% for sure. Second driver of
Mhm.
the day, I would say George Russell. Again, he did kind of go behind and then did the team game and managed to get that fastest lap on the Mercedes.
Right.
So every additional point for them is considered a
Mhm.
blessing. So I'm like, I take that. Worst driver of the day, I would say. That's a very tough question, to be very honest. I really want to say Max, but then there is someone who is even more worse. Like,
Who?
I would say Sergio Perez.
Sergio Perez.
A fast car does He made mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
silly mistakes, in fact. And
That's fair
having
enough.
that much amount of years on a Formula One cockpit, you should be not making that sort of mistakes on a race day.
Mm-hmm.
You do it
True.
at free practice, quality, do that stuff, not on a race day. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're keeping it all there. Thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. Please do like, share, and subscribe. As always, please support us on our platforms, formula.pod on Instagram. And yeah, until next time, this is both of us, the OGs of Formula Pod, signing off. Goodbye.